Peace and bright blessings, guys. It's your Queen of Spades coming at you. Okay, so trying to keep my throat moist so we don't have the issue that we had in the last video of me choking and coughing. Okay, so I plan to really just do a reading on Prince Andrew. So something peculiar happened before the Queen passed, Queen Elizabeth. Um, Before she passed, there was like a jubilee at the Royal Kingdom, and everybody showed up. Everyone was invited. Meghan and Harry were there, and you saw on the video, actually the video or the tape that the British released. It actually, they spliced it up to make it look like Meghan and Harry were being booed when they came. They spliced it to make it look like they were being booed, honey. So when they showed up, to the Jubilee, they made like the people there, were booing them, and Meghan and Harry were just like, hey, waving to people and happy and stuff, and they being booed. Like that wasn't the case though. So then when they showed Prince Harry and um his wife show up, they had like the crowd cheering, for them. So, and the reason why it's a fake is because the initial commentary from the broadcasters is not on it. And this was another video that I watched with Tisa Tells as well, and I also watched the initial original video. But basically, what really happened is, as Meghan and Harry started walking towards, the building that the Jubilee, um, it wasn't the Jubilee, it was another event that the Queen had put on. And I can't remember what the name of the event was, but when they showed up and they started walking towards the door, the crowd went crazy, started cheering them on, started, you know, um, like really yelling, like, yay, clapping their hands, like they were uberly excited that Meghan and Harry were there. And you could tell that they were happy, to be in their presence. When uh what is his name, Prince Andrew and his wife showed up, you heard the commentators saying, wow, they're getting booed. When Meghan and Harry showed up, they were like, oh wow, that's quite a greeting, that they're getting, and everybody was in the background cheering, and not laughing, clapping and shouting and yelling and stuff. Basically just happy that they were there. When when Prince Andrew and his wife showed up, the commentary was like, "Oh wow, they weren't received too well by the British people, like, and you heard the people in the background like, boo, like, you know." So I was like, why are they booing him? Like, what did he do? So I started looking into Prince Harry, and not, why do I keep saying Prince Harry is on my mind? Um, and I want to just keep saying his name because, like, he's the only prince. He might be. um, but Prince Andrew is who I'm referring to. I started looking into him because I'm like, why were they booing him and his wife? Like, what did they do? Um, so I started looking him up online, and it didn't take long for me to run into like the stories about Jeffrey Epstein, or is it Epstein? Epstein. Yeah, and seeing that he was linked and connected with Jeffrey Epstein, like, so that would make a lot of sense. So, I had some questions, so I'm gonna ask them. Um, yeah, so yeah, because there was an interview about Prince Andrew, and the interviewer was asking him about his relationship with Jeffrey and Epstein, and the sex trafficking scandal that was connected to Jeffrey Epstein. But there's lots and lots of other millionaires and billionaires that are connected um, with Jeffrey Epstein, and lots that were involved in his ring of sex trafficking. Um, it's just crazy, like all of this is going on, but you see, it's also getting exposed and found out. It's just crazy. Um, so he was asked, Prince Andrew was asked, like, about his connection with Jeffrey Epstein. And he was asked, like, were you close friends? And he's like, no, I met him, through his girlfriend. Um, so the interviewer asked, but you stayed at his house, and he was like, yeah, that's because he invited me to stay at his house, and it was convenient, for me to stay there when I came to the States in order to go from there to handling, my business there in the US. So, she's asking him all types of questions and stuff. And in which he was denying everything. He wasn't Jeffrey Epstein's friend. They weren't really close. He didn't really have a relationship with him. Um, and the interviewer went on to say, well, there's, a young girl that people saw you with, you know, and this is after she had asked him, like, you know, did you ever see any young girls, at Jeffrey Epstein's house? He's like, no, never. I probably wasn't there long enough to see anything like that. I just, went to stay overnight, but I handled business elsewhere. So she's like, so you didn't see any young girls at all? He's like, no, not one. So she's like, well, a lot of people reported that they saw you with a young girl and she was massaging your feet. And he's like, no, that didn't happen. There was no young girl. Ain't no fist touch my face like Hoppo in Color Purple. I was like, you lying. Like, I could tell you lying, but it's okay. So, he was denying everything she was asking him. He didn't have no connection to Jeffrey Epstein. He didn't have no connection to the sex trafficking or young girls or anything like that. He would come, see no evil, hear no evil, and leave, and that was it. Um, so it's just crazy. Like, so I would like to ask a couple of questions because in their culture, and not that it excuses or makes any of this okay, but remember I told y'all I saw a documentary about when Princess Diana and Prince Charles got together. When he first started looking her way, she was 16 and he was in his 30s. He was well into his 30s, almost into his 40s, and they got married when she turned to 18. So I'm trying to figure out because somebody should have called somebody on him at some point. But then as I continued watching these documentaries, I found that all the princes, you know, um, not all of them, but there was a few that were mentioned that married wives that were extremely young, compared to them, like not yet adults. So I wanted to ask, traditionally, have the men in the royal family always looked to underage girls as potential wives? That's a yes. Okay, is this their cultural practice? Might as well be. That's a yes. Okay. Um, is having underage girls a part of their normal practice or way of living? I guess I'm trying to word it. Okay, that's a yes. Okay. Okay, so prior to Epstein being charged and arrested for participating in sexual trafficking and holding parties in his homes where young girls were made available to his guests, was Prince Andrew already initially aware of these kinds of parties held at Epstein's house or at his homes, plural? That's a yes. Wow. Okay. Is Edward telling the truth? Edward, is Prince Andrew telling the truth when he says other members of the royal family traveled with him to stay at Epstein's house? Wow, that's a yes. Okay. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right. I don't know if it's Epstein or Epstein. I think it's Epstein. Um, okay. Were Prince Andrew's family members traveling with him for business purposes as well? That's a no. Okay. Were the other royals involved with the young girls at Epstein's house? Hmm. That's a yes. That's why they mad. They being exposed left and right. Okay. Is it true that Prince Andrew was initially only friends with Epstein's then girlfriend at the time? That's a yes. Okay. Is it true that Prince Andrew and Epstein were really close friends? Um, yeah. That's a yes, because he just kept saying that they were not close friends. They never really were close. But then there's pictures plastered on the video of them out together on his islands, his yachts, and all types of stuff. Okay. Is it true that Prince Andrew only stayed with Epstein out of convenience when he'd be in the States to handle important business? That's a no. Okay. Did he really stay with Epstein to have access to the young girls that were made available to him? That's a yes. The 17-year-old girl that reported that they had been together sexually 3 to 4 times, was she telling the truth? Talking about her and Prince Andrew. That's a yes. She was telling the truth. Was Charles one of the royals that traveled with Prince Andrew to Epstein's house? Mm. Wow. That's a yes. That's why he heard. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Hold on. Let me not get ahead of myself. Okay. Wow. Okay. Did Prince Charles engage with the young girls sexually that were made available at Epstein's house also? Wow. That's a yes. Wow. Mm, 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 mm. Um, what about Kevin Spacey? Was he involved with those young girls at Epstein's house? Wow. That's a yes. What about Trump? Was Donald Trump involved sexually with those young girls at Epstein's homes? Y'all, that is a no. A very straightforward no at that. Okay. What about Bill Clinton? That's a strong yes. Okay, did Prince Charles, remove Andrew from the royal family lineup to play damage control? That's a yes. Did he remove Prince Andrew from the royal family lineup also to keep from being investigated himself? That's a yes, guys. Ooh, when this all comes out, Prince Charles is going down. And it's all linked to his karma and as a result of what he did to Princess Diana. Wow. Oh, man. Mm, you know, every tub must sit on its own bottom. Every tub. Okay. Wow. Is he also removing Prince Andrew to keep from being linked to the whole sex trafficking situation? Spirit's like, yes, yes, yes. Wow. Okay, this may be a dumb question, but I'm not really sure, so I put it. Is Epstein in any type of relation to Weinstein? Oh, that's a yes. Okay. Wow. Okay. All of them need to go to jail. All of them. Every last one of them. I don't care what nobody say either. All of them need to go to jail for the rest of their lives. Um, okay. Was Jeffrey Epstein sacrificed to protect the others involved in the sex trafficking, the other millionaires and billionaires in high society? That's a yes. Wow. Ooh. Okay, all the other high socialites Epstein had listed in this little black book that he had. Were they a list of the people involved in participating in the sex trafficking? Guys, that's a yes. Wow. Okay. Let's see. Did Epstein commit suicide in jail? I don't think he did. I really don't. He did not commit suicide. Nope. So was Epstein murdered in jail? That's a yes. Wow. It makes sense. He was going to tell on everybody involved. He felt like if I'm going down, everybody about to go down. And they killed him. They murdered him before he had a chance to tell it. Wow. Yeah, was he murdered to keep him from exposing others involved in the sex trafficking ring? That's a yes. Has Prince Andrew, been sentenced to any jail time himself? Okay, that's a no. That's a no as of now. Okay, will Prince Andrew serve time in prison for his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein's sex trafficking ring? Yeah, that's a yes. I'm just glad his mother don't have to see it. That's crazy. Okay, I think we pretty much answered this last question, but I'm gonna just go ahead on. Okay, what is Prince Andrew's ultimate outcome? What is Prince Andrew's ultimate outcome? They all going down. They think because they getting away with it that they'll never have to answer for any of this. You will. You definitely will. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Show me Prince Andrew's ultimate outcome, please, Spirit. Give me a 3 card pull. Andrew's ultimate outcome, please. And then, like, oh, oh, okay. Don't throw them at me, Spirit. Mm. Whew. Okay. Thank you, Spirit. One more, please. There was an interview he was doing, and this woman was questioning him about like his connection with the whole thing. She was like, that girl that people say they saw massaging your foot, she has a picture of you and her, standing together. And she says that y'all been together 3 to 4 times. Is that true? He's like, um, no, that's not true. I wasn't with anyone. I didn't even see any girls there. Like, you're a liar. Um, okay. Thank you. Spirit, any other messages? So she was like asking him, she was like, here's the picture right here. So she showed it to him. She was like, you don't think anyone photoshopped this, did you? So he was like, no, no, it's me in the picture. That's me. But I don't think that that's my hand around her waist. You know, like if that's you in the picture, then that's your hand around her waist. Oh, let me get these cards, y'all. Hold on. Okay, guys, I had to get like a whole bunch of cards that have fallen. So I got them now. Okay. So it's really deep. Really deep. Mm. Okay. So the first card that popped out was the Awakening in reverse. Okay. Second card that popped out was the Ten of Spring. Okay. Wow. Third card that popped out is the Prince of Summer. Okay. Second, fourth card that came out was the Ten of Winter. Okay. Then the Sun card came out in reverse. Okay. Lastly, the Emperor came out in reverse. Okay. I'm going to turn these upright so that I can read them. Okay. So, the Awakening. Change the way you're looking at the situation. Embrace your uniqueness, a temporary pause in the action. Okay. He had a reversal in his awakening. So he's still not able to see things clearly. He may even think that he's like for the most part just gotten away with all of this whole entire situation and it's just gonna go away, and it's not gonna go away. It's not. Ten of Spring. Ask for help from others. All work and no play. Being weighed down by too many responsibilities. Um, okay, so even though he's been stripped of his title, he will continue on with certain duties, roles, and obligations in the kingdom. Prince of Summer came out next. Basically, romantic, captivating, dramatic, and flirtatious. Falling in love suddenly, being swept off your feet, the need to stay grounded during a very emotional experience. Because his awakening is in reverse, so is um so is the outcome of any hard work that he's done. It's going to be in reverse. So is any romantic situations moving forward going to be in reverse. um yeah, and then the Ten of Winter, the resolution of difficulties, the weight lifted off your shoulders, the end of an addiction or codependency. Yeah, so it definitely is going to be the end, because he's not going to be able to enjoy those types of pleasures any longer. um Whatever he's used to dealing with or doing on a regular basis, that he enjoys doing, that's going to abruptly end for him. His time is up where, this types of stuff, these types of things are concerned. His time is up. And okay, so when the sun is not in reverse, this is plans that work out perfectly, amazing ideas that lead to rewards and commendations, gratitude for the blessings of life. So he's the reverse of that, because that's how it came out. So nothing's going to work out for him at all. He's not going to have good ideas, and he's not going to have anything that leads to any rewards, because the only thing that he has earned will be complete, punishment, and possibly jail time. You know, I don't, I don't know if those in the kingdom, they handle their own people's jail time, so it won't be here or whatever. But he definitely will receive punishment. Whether he receives jail time or not, he will have to answer to God for his actions and for the lies that he told and for participating in the whole sex trafficking ordeal. Um, he's going to be made an example out of by the divine, by God. Um, yeah. And he's not going to get anything that he's been working hard for over the course of his life. He's not going to get the blessings he was looking forward to. He's not going to get, the peace and blissfulness, the love life, the happiness, the freedom, none of that. None of the good stuff will be rewarded unto him because he's undeserving of it as according to the divine. The emperor popped out and it came out in reverse. So what it says not in reverse is use logic and structure to increase your success. Get organized, a firm but compassionate leader. So he's the opposite of that. Um, he's not going to be able to increase his success because he's the emperor in reverse. And I probably will link that interview with that interviewer down below because it was really sickening. It was sad, um, almost to hear him try to explain these things away. Like she's telling him, like the girl described you to us. Like she told us that y'all went out, to a club with Epstein, and you know, um, everyone was dancing, and she was tasked to dance with you, and she said you were, sweating all over her, and you know, it made her feel sick to her stomach. And he was like, "Oh, well, see that's not even possible, because what it is that, because I served in the army and I was in the war, um, I have a particular, condition where I don't sweat. Um, it's unfortunate, but the condition, that I don't sweat because, I was in the army, I was in the war, and I was being shot at. And so, because of this particular condition came about where, I can't sweat, and well, at least I wasn't sweating then." And then he stopped and said, "Wait a minute, was she, uh, was I around her then when I couldn't sweat?" Or something to that effect. I was like, "You dummy. Like, really?" Did you just ask yourself about the girl that you never met, never seen before in real life? Like, really? Are you serious right now? Like, craziness. Crazy. Mm. Whew. Man. He's like, "I don't sweat. I don't, at least I didn't sweat back then at that particular time that she's referring to. Um, I had to go to the doctor. They had to give me something. So I sweat now, but I wasn't sweating back then." I just can't with stupidity. I really can't. You know, I can't because it's crazy. And you, sir, have been exposed and found out, and lying is not your best suit. That's crazy. So now I know why everyone was booing, him and his wife when he came to that function that the queen, threw at the palace. Now I know why. Because basically he's bringing shame and dishonor to his people. But he ain't the only one, Prince Charles. They coming for you next, honey. Craziness. And it's a lot of people. It's large rings of people that are high up in these high social um, you know, circles, people that are millionaires, billionaires, all participating in the sex trafficking ring. And I did notice how everyone that I asked about um, was guilty of participating in these things except for Trump. So I definitely plan to do a reading on Trump at some point soon because now I need to know what's going on with him. Like he was the only one that didn't participate in these things. And I want to know why. Furthermore, I want to know why um other people that are probably actually guilty keep bringing him up. Like Trump, he was at his home. Trump was like, I was never at his island home where most of that was taking place. I never visited there. He's like, he came to one of my club once and I had people to throw him out once I found out what he was into. And he was like, what you want to do if you want to find the real people. He started giving people up. He was like, you want to find the real people that was involved in the sex trafficking ring with Epstein. He was like, you need to check the documents because there was a log. People had to sign in and sign out when they went to his island. He was like, so if you really want to know who all is involved and who all was, going to his island to visit with him, those are the culprits. Those are the ones that participated in the sex trafficking. He was like, you really want to know who did it? You need to check the logs. You need to check his books because the people who did it, they're the ones who signed into those logs and at his island homes, you know. So I was like, okay, if you're guilty, you're not going to give up nothing like that. So that's what made me even slightly more intrigued with Mr. Trump. And I will be doing a reading on him at some point soon in the near future. And I hope you all enjoyed this reading and the information that came up for me. And crazy. Drop your comments down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that you could be definitely notified every time I upload videos, which usually is every Monday and Friday, unless I have a royal request, which I believe I do have one coming up. And so Wednesdays is the royal request days. And so I hope you all enjoyed this reading, and I look forward to seeing you all in the next video. Peace and bright blessings.